Hi beautiful! Did you know that Lancome reformulated their iconic Teint Idole foundation? I found out like yesterday and I immediately had to run and grab one because I need to see what this new formulation is about. I feel like it's a bit risky from Lancome to reformulate a foundation that is such a favorite among consumers, and so this new formula has to be spectacular in my opinion in order for it to top the previous one. And so today we are of course going to try it. This is what the exterior box packaging of the reformulated foundation looks like. It is a bit on like the gold side rather than silver, which it used to be. It is the Teint Idole SPF 25. This one says up to 24-hour wear foundation with a breathable coverage. I got mine in the shade 200 Neutral and I cannot wait to try it. So if you're excited for today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. I don't know if you know this about me, if you've ever seen one of my declutter videos or anything like that, but with the exception of eyeshadow palettes and maybe some other powders, I don't like to keep old makeup. And so I unfortunately decluttered the previous formula of this foundation from my collection not too long ago. I do know exactly how the previous formulation of this foundation wore on me because I had it for a long time and I would wear it often. At some point though, I just fell in love with something new and it kind of sat in my drawer for a little too long. So last time I decluttered things, I couldn't remember when I had bought it. So in my mind, I was like, okay, if I can't remember when I bought you, you're a little too old for me. I remember I had two shades and I did declutter them both. So my point is I can't do a side-by-side comparison of the old formula versus the new, which could have also been a bit unfair because maybe the old one was expired. And I am just going to be trying this one on its own today. And I do remember how that one wore, so I'll just tell you the differences that I detect. The packaging is pretty similar to the previous one, except the other one used to have lettering across the front here, and this one has a very stylish Lancome on the side. Like I said, I got mine in the shade 200, and before I tell you how this one's supposed to be different from the previous one, let's see what this one's claims are. I got mine at Ulta, by the way, and I'm looking at the Sephora website right now, and it is not available at Sephora yet. They still have the old formulation listed, so if you want to stock up on the old formulation, I'll link it down below. But anyways, this one says it is a full coverage liquid foundation just like the previous one with a natural matte finish, just like the previous one, that delivers up to 24 hours of waterproof, transfer and sweat resistant foundation wear. It says it's free of mineral oils and contains less than 1% synthetic fragrance. The very deep shades in the range are enhanced with ultramarine blue pigment, resulting in no gray cast for olive skin tones, while chromium oxide green was used to create shades that aren't too yellow or orange for best foundation color match. This is also suitable foundation for mature skin or sensitive skin. And that is one thing about the previous formula that was also true, even though it wasn't like my all-time favorite foundation because it was a foundation with a matte finish. Even with my very dry skin, I found myself liking it and wearing it often because it never dried me out, and so I really hope that that is the case for this new formulation. Now, the main difference I heard between this one and the previous one is that it's supposed to have the same amount of coverage with a very similar finish, but it's supposed to look a lot more natural on the skin. I'm assuming it's going to be a bit of a thinner formula. They also claim that this one is a more weightless foundation, and so I'm excited to experience all of those things. Let's see what the formula is like. I'm just going to, there we go. It is a creamy yet still kind of liquidy consistency. Like I said, this is the shade 200, which I do think is going to work really nicely for me. I'm excited to put it on my face. So underneath it, I'm going to use my Gucci primer. This one blurs my pores a bit, it makes the makeup last longer, and it doesn't change my skin texture too much. It doesn't make me look too glowy or too dry. Okay, so I have 3 pumps on the back of my hand. This one is a bit more liquidy than the previous one, but it still looks kind of creamy and it looks like it has a lot of coverage. I have a clean sponge with me and I'm just going to go to town and blend it on my face. The shade 200, which is the one I got for myself, is supposed to be neutral. To me right now it maybe looks a bit yellow, but maybe as it dries down it'll get better. It's not too bad though. I've definitely had much worse matches. So let me go ahead and do the same thing to this side. I added a fourth pump and I'm just going to use this one on my forehead. I'm lowering the light a bit to show you with the light a bit down what it looks like, and here's my first impressions. I think that they definitely achieved a foundation that is much more weightless than the previous formulation. However, I don't think this foundation has as much coverage as the previous formulation, because I used a total of 4 pumps on my entire face and I can still see a bit of redness showing through right here, and I can still see these couple of little pimples showing through right here. This is not a big deal to me. I personally prefer medium coverage foundation that is buildable. We are going to use another pump and hopefully cover that, but I know for sure that I did not need nearly as much of the previous formulation of this foundation to get a full coverage look on my face. So that is my first impressions so far. Yes, it feels amazing, especially on my dry skin, because I do prefer a medium coverage thin foundation to a full coverage foundation that is thicker. So I personally think it's an improvement. But with that said, I feel like if you're used to the previous formula giving you an immediate full coverage, you might be disappointed, because I feel like this definitely took a bit longer to build. The other thing I immediately noticed is that I got the shade 200N, and stands for neutral, and this is clearly a pretty yellow shade. I'm going to fix it. We haven't put concealer on or bronzer on or anything like that, so this will be fixed, right? But this is not a neutral shade in my opinion. I think I would have to see if there's another neutral in the 200 category that would match me, or if the other neutral is maybe still too yellow, then I would have to go with a cool toned shade from them to actually match my skin tone. This does not look neutral though, it looks pretty yellow to me. Anyways, let me show you up close what it looks like after I have built it up to my desired level of intensity. So I did also use a sponge which takes away some of the coverage, especially if the foundation is liquidy, so do keep that in mind. Maybe because the other foundation was more creamy, the sponge used to not soak up as much product. Anyways, here's what it looks like up close. I really like the coverage that I achieved with it, and of course I absolutely love how thin and how natural this foundation looks on my face, even though it's not even the right color. I feel like it looks very, very skin-like, and I obviously really appreciate that. So take a look right here. It is 11:23 right now. I'm going to start a wear test, but I'm not going to do the rest of my makeup with you because I have another video to film, so I'll be back with my makeup fully done and I'll show you what that looks like. It is 3:31 now. Several hours have happened. As you can see, I did finish up my makeup in a different video. It is a Sephora/Ulta haul, so definitely check that video out. I'll put it up there on the eye if it's already been published. Anyways, 4 hours or so in, I remember it was 11 something when I first started. This is what the makeup is looking like. I'm about to go outside and show you what it looks like in natural light, but what I can tell you from just looking at it in person is that it is looking fantastic. This is the most skin-like medium to full coverage foundation. I really like that my face does not look dry, but it also doesn't look overly glowy. It has a true skin-like texture, which I can really, really appreciate. Like I said, I'm about to go outside and show you what it looks like in natural light, but take a look at here at what it's looking like under the studio lights, and I think it looks incredible. I almost didn't make it outside. It's like 7:50 something, almost 8 o'clock right now, so there's barely any light left, which I apologize for, but this is what it looks like in natural evening lights right here. As you can see, and let me get closer, you can see it better. Keep in mind I've been wearing it for 8 hours now. It looks really nice. My pores barely visible. The coverage is still all over. I really, really like it so far. I'm back and it's the next day. I did end up wearing this foundation last night until past midnight, and I have some footage to show you of what this foundation was looking like super late at night. I didn't record my final thoughts last night because I was super tired, but as you can see, the foundation wore really, really beautifully all day long. I actually really love that they reformulated this foundation because this new formula is a bit more the type of foundation that I like to wear. However, I don't know that the reformulation is going to be widely accepted by everyone because the previous formulation of the Teint Idole foundation had a formula that a lot of people knew and loved and was familiar with. I think that this new formula of the Teint Idole foundation can get to the same level of coverage as the previous formulation, but you might have to use a couple more pumps of it in order to get it there. I do really prefer that it is a thinner type of foundation. However, I know that not everyone has that specific preference in foundations. Some people like their foundations to be a little bit thicker, and if that's the case for you, then you might not love this one as much as the previous formulation of it. I did think that it wore beautifully throughout the day. It has the most perfect natural finish. It didn't dry me out. It didn't get oily through the day. It is perfection in a foundation for me. However, like I said, if you liked the creaminess of the previous version and the full coverage of it right away, you might not be happy with the changes that they made. Please let me know if that is the case down below in the comment section. When I went to purchase this foundation at Ulta, I didn't only get this, I got a whole bunch of other new makeup items that I wanted to try. So if you want to check out that video, I'm going to leave it right here for you to watch next. I tried so many new products that are brand new, and I had a lot of fails in that video. So definitely check it out so that you don't buy a product you might hate. If you like this Teint Idole reformulated review, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.